Greenwood model, 14 acres, 152,000 square feet. I mean, where can you replicate that in this country? And there's others that do it exceptionally well. And 25 years ago, when Greenwood was open, perhaps that option could have been available nationwide. Now that window's pretty much closed. The lessons that are learned there, and looking at the economics and what has been achieved in a big suburban facility like that, with that offers virtually everything except golf. How do you take the strengths of that and turn it into the urban opportunity? So your footprint's much smaller, but you're still providing a very high caliber service. You start tinkering with it until you create essentially a floor plan, and then you start developing what the ambition is for the brand and how it's to be expressed. Commonalities between the two is that we're both in fitness. I want to have clear separation and brand image. I love, and I will never try to have separation based on the quality and reputation of Greenwood. I mean, that's been my heart and soul and for 25 years. But the lessons learned there and how to translate those lessons into the different demography, different location, different approach to fitness. So there's continuity in ideas, but just under a different wrapper and more urban and modern approach that Pura Vida is. It's transportable. Our brand messaging and our symbols, everything can be nicely packaged and translated to another zip code, and then you just add that special nuance of that market. I don't understand the franchise. I do understand how to do it on my own. And certainly the stars have to align and many things have to happen before that ever becomes remotely a possibility. This is not an inexpensive endeavor, and certainly the real estate options and positioning in a community. So there's a lot of things that have to be aligned. It's really not just plant a seed, add water, and see what happens. There's a lot of specialization and nuance. Yes, there are, but you have to have a place where the competition is not as robust as it is here, and certainly located in a demographic or zip code that is comparable to here, and obviously a market that really has a real fitness identity, fitness awareness. In 2007, when the stock market is still doing very well, and there was not, for the mass market, blatant signals that we're going to have the giant collapse of 2008, everything was on a pretty positive trend. So if I tried to do this starting in 2008, it would have been a different outcome. But all the stars aligned, and we executed a lease, and the money was raised, and off we went. And then it became very evident that things are changing very briskly. So how do we adapt? And being an entrepreneur, being adaptable, making adjustments, being nimble. I mean, that's probably what allowed us to prevail. And really being focused on being inclusive and steering away, at least appropriately steering away from being perceived as or positioning ourselves as a luxury product, but something that's really more akin to our audience and what they're seeking and what they're comfortable with. And I would say we hit the nail on the head. Same category, and that was been a good rule of thumb for us. And granted, in our ramp up to sustainability and viability, that didn't start out that way. Yeah, but now as we look at our formula, and as it's financially driven, and we're looking at how we're doing our allocations of even rent as a percentage of gross revenues, payroll as a percentage of gross revenues, we're starting to hit our stride now. Looking at dues line covers operations, and non-dues is where you can get yield to partners and owners. It's really their personal choice. we, by our nature of who we are and what we provide, will serve these opportunities. And hopefully we engage our audience in such a way that they feel comfortable with these offerings and they make these decisions to participate or not.